Want to blaze through blues solos like Joe Bonamassa, Eric Gales, and Marcus King? In this video, I'm going to show you 5 licks from outside the blues world that will set your sound on fire. Let's go. If you're like me, you probably love traditional blues players and blues licks. I mean, how could you not? But there's something super exciting about watching fire-breathing blues players like Eric Gales, Joe Bonamassa, and Marcus King just go off like somebody had thrown a stick of dynamite on stage. A drummer friend of mine used to refer to that ability to just light up a song as burn power. And in this video today, I'm going to show you 5 licks that are going to increase your ability to turn up the heat in your solos. Before we get started, I want you to consider that Eric Gales, Joe Bonamassa, and Marcus King are all very strongly influenced by music that is outside the blues world. They're drawing on lots of different influences when they're out there ripping it up. Bonamassa makes no bones about being strongly influenced by European blues players like Eric Clapton, Paul Kossoff, Peter Green, Rory Gallagher, Gary Moore. I've heard Eric Gales play everything from Hendrix to Metallica, Santana to classical music. And in pretty much every solo they play, Joe Bonamassa and Eric Gales are ripping off Eric Johnson's cascading pentatonic lines big time. And Marcus King, he mixes everything from the Three Kings of the Blues to the Allman Brothers to Black Sabbath. And he also has a history in the study of jazz harmony and theory. The point I'm trying to make is these guys sound so different and fresh because they're pulling from so many different and varied influences. Now, they don't always make blues purists happy, but damn, do they sound good. And guess what? These 5 licks I'm going to show you today, they're not blues licks either, but they work over the blues. And hopefully, it's going to give you an aha moment and your mind's going to start working and you're going to start thinking of all kinds of licks that you already know that you can pull into your blues solos and really supercharge your sound. All that being said, let's get into the licks. All of these licks are in the key of G. The first 3 are going to be played over a shuffle that's at 136 beats a minute, and the last 2 are going to be played over a slow blues that is at 62 beats a minute. Here's lick 1. So lick 1 is actually stolen from an 80s rock classic, Rosanna, by Steve Lukather and Toto. This is the ascending climb of the blues scale about halfway through the solo. To play it, we're just really going to be in G major blues scale, up around the 12th fret. We're going to start at the A at the 12th fret of the A string and play up to D at the 15th fret of the B string. We're playing triplets. Then we're going to drop down to B at the 12th fret. Then C, which is the 4th of G, which sounds pretty cool. And then we're going to play up to the G note at the 15th fret of the E string. And then we're going to drop down to E, and then play the G again. And to finish off the lick, make it sound bluesy, we're going to go up to the B flat at the 18th fret. We're going to bend it up a whole step. Let off that bend, play B flat, play the G, and then we're going to end up with the F at the 18th fret of the B string. We're going to bend that up a whole step. Go through it slowly. Sounds like this. And that is lick 1. Let's check out lick 2. Lick 2, it's another lick that I stole from Rosanna. This is sort of that jazzy descending figure from the outro solo that blew everybody's minds back in the 80s. And it's actually comprised mostly of a G Dorian type of a sound. We're going to start off, we're going to be up around the 17th fret, and we're going to play initially a D minor arpeggio. This is another sort of a rolling triplet lick, and after that initial D minor arpeggio, he plays a phrase that starts on C at the 20th fret of the E string, and it's going to end on the E note at the 17th fret of the B string. It sounds like this. And that's sort of the first part of the lick. From there, we're going to drop down to the 15th fret. We're going to play a phrase that starts on D, and we go D, F, E, D, E, D. From there, we're going to drop down to the 13th fret. We're going to play some descending chromatic thirds. We're going to play C and A at the 13th and 14th frets of the B and G string twice. Then we play B and A flat, and we drop to the B flat at the 11th fret of the B string, and we play a little phrase that ends up on the G note. And to finish this off and give it a bluesy touch, I'm gonna slide up to the A note at the 14th fret and bend it up to B, which is the major third. The whole thing slowly. That's lick number 2. Lick number 3, stole this one from a song called Pink Champagne Sparkle by Andy Timmons. This lick is comprised almost entirely of the G Mixolydian pentatonic scale. Now that scale contains the notes G, B, so we got the major third and the root, the 4th, which is C, D, which is the 5th, and then F, which is the flat 7th. And if we take that through the scale and up the fretboard, I'm here at the 15th fret of the E string, starting on the G. I'm playing it all the way up to the D note of the 22nd fret of my E string. That is the scale that comprises this lick. We start off again, another rolling triplet lick with a triplet at the 15th fret of the A string, C, D, C. Then we drop to the B, and then we ascend through the scale. Up to the C note at the 20th fret of our E string. And then we've got a descending pattern where he kind of mixes things up a little bit, kind of backtracks and repeats. And it ends up on the F note at the 15th fret of our D string. Now again, to make it sound a little bluesier, I use a blues scale and do a descending pattern to end out the lick, starting with the G at the 17th fret of our D string. And ending on the G at the 15th fret of the E string. The whole thing slowly. On to lick number 4. Lick number 4, another one I stole from Andy Timmons. This is from the intro of the song Electric Gypsy. It's very Hendrixy sounding. It's got sort of a slippery, slidey pentatonic thing going on. And we're going to be mostly in the E minor pentatonic pattern 1, G major pentatonic pattern 5, however you want to think about it, here at the 12th fret. We're going to start the lick off with a little bluesy phrase, bending the D at the 15th fret of the B string up a whole step. Playing the unison E at the 12th fret of the E string, followed by B at the 12th fret of the B string, and then D again. We play an A at the 14th fret of our G string, followed by B again at the 12th fret of the B string. Then a cool little figure where we play A, B flat, A, and then G at the 14th, 15th, 14th, and then 12th fret of the G string, followed by E at the 14th fret of our D string. So far we've got. Then we're going to play a fast descending pentatonic phrase, which is A, G, E, D, B, and then we jump back up a sixth to our G note. Then we're going to play D and E on our D string, followed by a cool kind of a slippery, slidey thing. I'm going to play from A to B, back to A, and then down to G on the A string. Now, I played it up to B. You could play B flat. It sounds a little bluesier that way, and we end up the lick with E, and then back to G at the 12th fret of the E string to the 10th fret of our A string. Now, to again, make it sound a little bluesier, I throw in a little lick that goes from F at the 8th fret of the A string up to the B flat at the 11th fret of our B string, and I bend that up to the major third, which is B. So that whole lick slowly. That's lick number 4, on to lick number 5. Lick number 5, this is probably the strangest adaptation of them all because I stole this lick. I heard it in a video by the English super shredder, Rick Graham. Now, Rick has a technique that is completely out of this world, but he also plays with an incredible amount of melody and soul, and that's why this lick was so appealing to me. Now, this is again a slippery, slidey, sort of a pentatonic thing, and he utilizes some sixth intervals that make it sound really, really cool. We're going to start off by playing a G major arpeggio up at the 15th position, and then we're going to play E, G, and E. That's at the E's at the 17th fret of the B string, G at the 15th fret of the E string, back to E. So far we've got. Now we're going to drop down to the E minor pattern 1 of pentatonic down at the 12th fret, and we're going to play a descending pattern. So we've got E, D, A, D, and G. And then he plays an almost country-ish sounding thing. He slides up to B at the 16th fret of the G string, plays D and E at the 15th and 17th frets of the B string. Then he slides that B back down to A at the 14th fret of our G string. So far we've got. Then comes a really cool passage where he's going to play from G down to A at the 12th fret of the A string. And you play the B at the 14th fret of the A string, jump back up to G, which is a 6th interval. So that sounds really awesome. Then we're going to slide down another pentatonic pattern. So I'm going to take that 14th fret to the 12th fret A, play G, back to A, and then I'm going to play the E at the 9th fret of the G string, and end the lick at the G at the 10th fret of our A string. So that lick so far, we've got and again, I added a little tag on it. I slide down a few more 6. We've got F and D at the 8th fret of our A string, 7th fret of the G string. Then I play C and E, and then B and D, and that's our lick. Here's the whole thing slowly. That's lick number 5. Thank you, Rick Graham. So I hope you enjoyed these licks, and I hope I got your mind working so you can start taking licks from the influences that you love and adapting them into your blues playing. You know, the traditional stuff is great, but it's already been done. So I say honor it, respect it, learn it, but then go out and blaze your own trail. You guys keep practicing, and I will see you soon. Thanks. Bye for now.